Thanks for clicking. Welcome to another Knowledge Math production. Today we're going to be adding and subtracting mixed numbers. So in the last video we worked with adding and subtracting fractions, finding common denominators, understanding we needed a common denominator to be able to add and subtract fractions. Today we're going to work with mixed numbers, doing the same thing, adding and subtracting. So to add and subtract mixed numbers, what you need to do is, well, there's a couple ways that you can do it. You can convert to an improper fraction. Okay. Find a common denominator, add the two fractions, and then go back to a mixed number. All right, that's one way to do it. So let's see how that would work. I have 3 5/8 plus 1 3/4. So let's write it here, 3 5/8. And we're going to work our way down, 1 3/4. So 3 5/8, let's convert that to an improper fraction. 3 times 8 is 24, and 5 makes 29 over 8. 1 times 4 is 4. 4 and 3 is 7 over 4. Okay, so now I want to add these two fractions. I need to find a common denominator. So I'm going to multiply. The common denominator between 4 and 8 is 8. So I'm going to multiply this top fraction by 1. The bottom fraction I'm going to multiply by 2. So that gives me 29 over 8 again, plus 14 over 8. 29 and 14. 29 and 14. 9 and 4 is 13. 1 to carry. 43 over 8. And now we're going to go back to that mixed number. So 43 over 8. 8 goes into 43 5 whole times, with 3 as the remainder. So this is 5 3/8. That's my answer. Okay, so you can see what we're trying to do here. All right, let's try the second one. We'll do it in a different color so it's easy to distinguish here because we got a lot of work. All right, so we got 6 5/6. We'll do it over here. 6 5/6 minus 3 1/4. Okay, let's convert them to improper fractions. So 6 times 6 is 36, and 5 make 41. 4 times 3 is 12. 12 and 1 is 13. I need a common denominator between 6 and 4. The first number that goes into both, or that both of them go into, is 12, right? So I want to make the denominators 12s. So 4 times 3 would be 12, and then 6 times 2 would be 12. 41 times 2 is 82, and then 13 times 3 is 39. I'm going to subtract them. 82 minus 39, I'll do my math up here. So I need to borrow from that, make that a 7. Bring that over. 12 minus 9 is 3. 7 minus 3 is 4. So this is, that is 43 over 12. And then 12 goes into 43. 12 times 3 is 36. That's the closest we can get, with 7 left over. So this is 3 7/12. And that's my answer for that. All right, and finally, let's work with 4 1/3 plus 3 2/5. 4 1/3 plus 3 2/5. Okay, let's convert them. 4 times 3 is 12, and 1 is 13. 3 times 5 is 15, and 2 is 17. So I need a common denominator between 3 and 5. That's going to be 15. So I got to multiply the 5 by 3, top and bottom, the 3 by 5, top and bottom. That's 65. That one is 51. 65 and 51 is 116 over 15. All right, I got to do 115 into 116. So 15 times 7, I think, is 105. 7 times 5 is 35. 3 to carry. Yeah, 7. 11 left over. So this is going to be 7 and 11/15. And there's my three answers. Okay? There's my three answers. All right, now it's your turn. You try. Make sure that you can do all three of these. You have to be able to do it. It's very important. So 7 7/8 minus 6 1/4. Try them out. 8 times 7 is 56. 56 7, 63 over 8. 6 times 4 is 24, and 1 is 25 over 4. My common denominator between, I'm subtracting these numbers. Common denominator between 4 and 8 is an 8. I got to multiply the second fraction by 2. It's 50 over 8. 63 over 8. So it's 13 over 8. 8 goes into 13 one whole time with 5 remaining. 1 5/8 is my answer. 3 2/3 plus 2 5/7. So let's convert it. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 2 is 11 over 3. And then 2 times 7 is 14, and 5 make 19. So my common denominator between 3 and 7 is 21. 7 times 3 is 21. 3 times 7 is 21. 11 times 7 is 77. 19 times 3 is 57. So 77 and 57 is 134 over 21. So 134 over 21, that's equal to 21 goes into 134. 21 into 134, 4, 5, 6, right? 21 times 6, that's 126. 8 remaining. So that's 6 and 8 over 21. And then finally, 5 4/5. We're going to have to move this over. It's not going to fit. We'll do it in another color too, just to make it interesting. So 5 4/5 minus 3 1/3. So 5 times 5 is 25, and 4 makes 29. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 and 1 is 10. 15 is the common denominator. That's 50 on top of that one. We're subtracting. 29 times 3, 29 times 3. 9 times 3 is 27, 2 to carry. 87 over 15 minus 50 over 15 is 37 over 15. Now, 15 goes into 37 two whole times with 7 remaining. It's 2 and 7 over 15. And there's my answer for all three of these. Okay? And then finally, we have Joe. He orders 3 bags of soil last month. Each bag weighed 4 2/5 kilograms. He used the first bag in a week. At the end of the month, there were 2 3/4 kilograms left in the second bag and 7/8 left in the third bag. How much soil did he use all month? Okay, so he's got 3 bags. Bag 1, bag 2, bag 3. Let's talk about bag 1. How much of bag 1 did he use? Well, he used the first bag, and the bag weighed 4 2/5 kilograms. So he used the whole thing. In bag 2, at the end of the month, there were 2 3/4 kilograms left in the bag. So that means how much did he use? Well, to figure that out, I'd have to do 4 2/5 and subtract 2 3/4, right? So that's 22 over 5, 11 over 4. So I got to multiply the top and bottom by 5 there and by 4 there. That's 88 over 20. This is 55 over 20. So that's going to be 33 over 20. All right, so I'm actually going to leave this as an improper fraction because eventually I'm going to be adding all of these numbers together, right? I got 3 bags. I want to use how much you used in total. I'm going to add all three of these. So I might as well leave this as an improper fraction. Makes my life a little easier in a few minutes. And then finally, there's 7/8 left in the third bag. So 4 2/5 minus 7/8. Okay, so the second fraction is not a mixed number, so I'm just going to leave it as 7/8. I'll make this fraction an improper fraction. That's 22/5. And then 40 would be the common denominator. So I got to multiply this one by 5 and the other one by 8. So that's 35 there. I'm subtracting these. 22 times 8 is 176. 176 minus 35 is 141/40. 141/40. So now I got to add all three of these answers together. First, I got to convert this to an improper fraction. It's 22/5. So I need a common denominator between 5, 20, and 40. So that's not too bad. 40 is the common denominator, right? 40 is the common denominator. So I'm going to multiply the top and bottom of this one by 8 to make that common denominator. That's 176/40. Multiply top and bottom by 2 on this one. That gives me 66/40. And then keep this one the same, 141/40. So when I'm done adding these together, my denominator will be a 40. 66, and it doesn't matter which way I add them. I'm going to do the 66 and the 141 first. 66, 141, and 66. Adding these numbers is 207, and then 176 on top of that. 383. So 383/40. Now I got to go back to a mixed number. 40 goes into 383. 6, 7, 8, 9, I think. 9 full times. 9 times 40 is 360. So 383 minus 360 is 23/40. 9 and 23/40 is how much soil, kilograms of soil, is what he used. And that's my answer. Okay, so you have to be able to do it in word problem form as well. And that's it. And as always, thanks for clicking.